whistle.
Did you see that?
I just saw something moving and running over there. It was breaking branches, moving really quick.
There's a style to it. There's a 45-degree angle.
Okay, time to get out of here.
Perfect little X.
Bigfoot encounters rarely feel like a single moment. You feel them in the way the wilderness shifts. Familiar ground turning wrong, silence settling too fast, and the sense you're no longer alone. One night, a tall figure crosses a Sierra Nevada road in seconds. Another, a whistle outside a tent comes back, like someone else is testing it. If something can stay that close without revealing itself, how would you know when it's time to leave? On July 13, 2024, Dr. Hannah Strait uploaded a video to her YouTube channel showing a strange nighttime encounter in the Sierra Nevada.
Did you see that? I've been hanging out with my friends that live and travel in an RV. We left a little bit later than usual and it got dark really fast. On the way home, something bolted out in front of the truck. We basically just left the scene immediately because it was really dark out. Could it possibly be a Bigfoot? Is it tall enough? Check out that stride, like what?
A night vision camera captures a dark, upright figure crossing the road in long strides before vanishing into the trees. It happens fast, no sound, no pause. With limited visibility and isolation all around, the group chooses to leave immediately. In a place this remote, uncertainty carries weight. Hannah later explains she plans to return to the area in daylight to examine it more closely.
This trail is only about 2.7 miles long, but travels nearly straight up the mountain to an elevation of around 8,000 feet. Once an old service road, this is now a pretty challenging OHV trail. Rated as a 6 for large rock obstacles, slick tree roots, and multiple areas for potential rollover, 33s are a minimum here. Much of the year, this trail is impassable due to the enormous amount of snow it receives.
So we might have come to a dead end because, as you can see, there's still some snow up here. This is the problem. There's still a huge amount of snow, which is pretty slick. So we're going over.
Onwards and upwards. We're not at the top yet, but it sure felt like it.
It's really cool when you're up in a viewpoint like this. It just feels extra special because who else gets up here very often?
This narrow trail leads to an old Central Pacific Railroad fire lookout. It was built around 1909. The Central Pacific built nearly 40 miles of snow sheds along the mountains to ensure they could watch and keep train travel moving safely.
We made it to the top of the mountain, and I found this really cool old abandoned stone lookout. We've got a huge living area right at the front of the home. Got a lookout right here. No longer in use, but still really cool.
Hours before the encounter, the same road carried them up a level 6 off-road trail to an abandoned stone lookout built in 1909. In daylight, the area appeared quiet and familiar, offering wide views and no signs of disturbance. Now at night, that familiarity feels altered. Some viewers point to the stride and timing, suggesting a person. Others note how quickly the figure moved through total darkness. If nothing unusual was noticed there during the day, what changed after nightfall? And would anyone truly stop long enough to find out? Hold on a sec. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. On December 21st, 2025, Cabin in the Woods released a documentary-style video following a 7-day expedition into the remote wilderness of British Columbia. The journey explores reported Sasquatch activity through atmosphere and experience, leaving uncertainty to build long before clear answers appear.
My name is John Huntsinger. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and been on a couple of these expeditions prior to this expedition. The one last year, on the last night, about 10 o'clock, we were sitting around the campfire and had probably the loudest sound I've ever heard in my life. It was a wood knock, so unbelievably loud. we were sitting at the fire, and Todd started getting some readings with the mind speak, and he said that there's 3 of them coming towards us, and he kind of pointed the direction. I got incredibly nervous to the point I was shaking. I was about ready to just run into the trailer and lock it up, hide in my bed, but I ended up staying out. And Todd was kind of narrating. He had said one of them wants to speak to you. I was still sitting there just shaking like I've never shaken before. When Todd said that, I had kind of like an electrical charge go into my head. My shaking went to 0. Then Todd felt like that they were retreating, and when he told me that electrical charge, went off of my head.
At the base camp, early conversations shift toward past encounters and unexplained sensations. One member recalls an intense mental experience from a previous expedition. The sense that something unseen may be present introduces unease before any physical evidence is found.
But this wasn't here 10 days ago when I was here last. That's new. And you can see that's been on the ground decaying. So somebody picked that up and put that there.
Well, this was clearly broken. Even though it's an old one, you can tell it's been snapped. Like when it was broken, the wood was healthy. This wasn't rot.
And there's another one there, and there's another one there. If you look in here and you're intelligent, you go, well, how come none of this is broken and these are? And the answer is that's not natural. Something came along and snapped them. Why in the hell would this tree be broken amongst all these other trees that are undamaged from if it was snow load or wind or a tornado or something? There's a style to it. There's a 45-degree angle. There's an art to this, a meaning, there's a direction behind it. That second tree is a matching twin to the first one. You want me to break it here?
Right about there.
Is it okay if I do this?
No, you're not able to make that same kind of break on a trunk that's 2.5 inches thick.
Correct, not even close. So the Sasquatch are doing it like this. There. That's what they do. That looks nothing like the Sasquatch breaks. They didn't do it.
So it was crisper before, eh?
Mm-hmm. This is the moss growing back down. So it was like it was toes across nicer.
This bent living tree up there, that one's alive. It still has foliage on the top end.
Yep.
And it's underneath these older.
This is another track over here. That one's kind of not so clear anymore. I can't see where the third one was, but so that's one track right here. It's very, very nice. This is not a very big Sasquatch. This is a small female.
I think you can still see some toes there.
Yeah.
There's a big toe right there, and then the second toe. This LiDAR scan, you can see how long this thing is. It's nearly 18 inches long.
Along abandoned logging roads, the group documents multiple broken and bent trees, some fresh, others aged, without a clear natural explanation. Nearby, they find deep footprints pressed into the ground, their size and weight suggesting a large upright creature and leaving the impression that something physical moved through this remote area.
So for the first time since starting this expedition, I'm taking a little walk on my own, away from the group. I just saw something moving and running over there. It was breaking branches, moving really quick. It just ran across through the trees. It was bipedal. So basically I had a sighting, but got nothing on camera. Trust me, I'm at least as frustrated with myself as you probably are with me. So I was walking over here on my own. I heard tree breaks of some sort happening over in that direction, and before I could get my lens screwed onto the phone, I saw something big and brown streak across my field of vision through the trees, the 80 yards that way. I didn't have a chance to get the lens on and film it. It happened so fast. It didn't look like an elk or a bear, and it was just streaking. It was moving so incredibly quickly.
While near a gifting site, the host briefly separates from the group. Unprepared and alone, the host steps ahead, only to realize too late that some moments offer no warning and no second chance. A brown, upright figure moves rapidly across his field of view. It passes silently through thick brush, disappearing before it can be followed.
I'm feeling very sick. I have a high fever. I can feel it. I'm not sure how I caught it. The others are still on expedition, but this sickness just hit me like a ton of bricks.
The doctor tells me that thankfully it isn't anything serious, just a run-of-the-mill viral infection.
We came back today and all the apples are now gone. And we've got this beautiful snowfall, but we don't see any footprints of it. So whatever was here must have come here before the snow.
And one of those apples was 11 feet off the ground.
I mean, it's possible they could have been eaten by a squirrel, but the fact that they're all gone,
No
fully
signs,
gone with no
traces.
Something took them. And, there's no bits of apple sitting on the ground, half eaten or anything like that. Entirely possible a bear would do that. But we don't see any signs of a bear.
That apple was up there. That had to be, at least 10 feet up, right?
Shortly after, the host is unexpectedly hospitalized with a high fever, underscoring how harsh conditions can take a serious toll on the body. Despite the setback, he later returns to the campsite to continue, only for the group to find the apples placed 12 to 15 feet high mysteriously gone, bringing the expedition to a close with more questions than answers. Some viewers focus on missing cameras and natural explanations, while others point to the pattern of events and the consistency of reported experiences. If every moment can be explained individually, why does the overall pattern still feel so deeply unsettling? On January 5, 2026, the Bigfoot Files documented a solo scouting trip into Icehouse Canyon in California's San Gabriel Mountains. Known for quiet field reports, the channel focuses on places where witnesses describe being watched. What begins as a familiar hike slowly shifts as the canyon's silence deepens with nightfall.
Did I just find a portal? Look at these right here. There's 3 massive redwoods and then 3 smaller ones right in front of it. I don't know why I was getting a vibe when I was looking at those 3 trees. But there's all this stone structures on the side of this creek down here. There's like a perfectly cut log right there in the middle of the water. Dude, nobody told me that I was gonna be seeing these old stone buildings. Moon-shaped. This is where they put a bunch of cut logs here. Whoa, looks super cool up the creek. Here's another one of these foundations, like a historic foundation. Look at that, set your mattress up right there. Get your Serta, get your sleep number. What if at night, like the Sasquatch in the area out here, they come down to these like foundations. They come down to these foundations and they just chill,
Near the canyon's entrance, the cameraman documents a strange tree formation and later discovers abandoned stone foundations deeper in the woods. These forgotten structures feel less empty than expected, suggesting places something could return to after dark.
That sound echoed all through the canyon right here. Gonna freak out some hikers. Got real quiet right now. All right, guys, making our way back down. Got a long ways to go, man. I just noticed it is incredibly quiet through here. It made me stop.
Near Icehouse Saddle, a loud, unfamiliar sound suddenly echoes through the canyon. Brief but powerful, it cuts through the silence, hinting at a presence large enough to carry its voice across the terrain. As he heads out, the forest falls unnaturally quiet. Birds and insects vanish at once. The silence brings a growing sense of being watched, following him down the trail.
All right, I'm gonna keep moving. I noticed that all I was hearing was the crunching of my feet. So I stopped, and that's when I noticed it was dead quiet. This entire time leaving this canyon, I felt like somebody was following me or something was following me. And I didn't turn around right away. I was kind of doing something. And then I turned around and there was nothing there.
Moments later, footsteps strike the ground directly behind him. When he turns, nothing is there, but the feeling of being followed does not fade. Some see wildlife behavior, others focus on the timing, silence, and proximity. If something can remain unseen this close, How often does it choose to follow without revealing itself? On November 10, 2014, Barbara Schuppe returned to a forest gifting area after days of heavy rain. Known for documenting subtle signs and unexplained sounds, Barb and her dog Gabby begin noticing small disturbances that suggest the area may not have been empty.
One of the first things that I'm seeing here is the bucket is a little off. I had left the peanut butter and a package of salmon in the bucket. It's actually pushed up several inches up the rope. Get up there a little closer. The handle is down and the rope is over here on the side, right there. If something had come down the rope to push that plastic piece up, it would have had to get into the bucket and push it up. Well, the bucket couldn't support the weight of anything in there. There's another way that that piece of plastic could have come down over the knot. It could have been pulled by something down here reaching up and just pulling on it. Could have also pulled it over the knot. Another thing, lid and bottom tray have been moved over here. I had left them together. They're not together anymore. A good sized dent in this one now, and there's actually a hole there, like a bite mark right there. And this edge is cracked right here. We've also got the gourd sitting right here next to them. And at this end, we've got what looks like chew marks. Unfortunately, you can't really see through the dirt very well. Let's see, over here. We had put these sticks here up on the side with this piece of bark to try and, this has been all pulled apart here. The jar that we left Raisin Bran in is empty. We got the jar of jam, no new chew marks. We got the granola and the bacon, also no new chew marks. I have checked the camera. There are no new pictures in it.
At the supply site, Barb inspects items left behind. Containers remain, but lids are shifted and food accessed without damage. The handling feels careful, not chaotic, raising questions about what interacted with them.
So, you can see it's been chewed on, but it's soft enough and decomposing enough that you can't really say was it bit it or chewed on it. Something I didn't even see on the way down, right here, just kind of clinging to the edge there, is one of our jar rings. All this dirt and moss and everything has been pushed down right here. I'm not seeing a jar anywhere, just the ring. Look at this. Interesting little structure right here. Perfect little X leaning against that tree.
Near the creek, Barb finds a jar ring placed on a branch and fresh ground disturbance. A small X-shaped tree structure appears nearby. These quiet markers give the impression of deliberate placement rather than chance. Barb resets the supplies and adds new items, treating the space as something still being visited rather than abandoned. While walking deeper into the forest, distant whooping sounds echo. Barb goes silent. Gabby becomes alert. The forest feels aware. In Bigfoot research, X-shaped tree structures are often viewed as intentional markers rather than natural fall patterns. Their symmetry and placement suggest communication, used to indicate territory, direction, or presence, especially in areas rarely visited by people. If the X shape was meant to be seen, was it simply a marker, or a sign that someone knew exactly where to leave it? On September 8, 2025, deep in a remote forested area of Ohio, Jared from Exploring with Bear returns alone to a place he openly calls Bigfoot territory. His channel documents real-world camping, exploration, and encounters in isolated wilderness areas. This time, there is no companion, only a history of strange activity, prior fear, and a landscape already marked by something unseen. From the first steps in, the forest feels alert, not empty.
See what kind of prints we got around here. Check those out, dog prints, or wolf or coyote. They're big though. Look at that one, man, that's huge. That's a pretty big paw. Okay, so I don't see any besides big dog or wolf or something, or dog man tracks maybe. I don't know. I wonder how's that work for dog man. Maybe he's got like hands with claws or not. I don't know. Or is it just paws? What's dog man's feet look like?
Earlier in the day, Jared surveys a dried lake bed near the trail. In the soft mud, he documents unusually large canine tracks, far bigger than typical wolves or dogs. Whatever made them move through this area without hesitation.
Someone's just walking over there. What is it? Where's that coming from? There's a bang, but it sounded like something walking so close. That was a rock clink. Person or a Bigfoot just smacked something right over there. Oh, something's moving right there. What is moving around me? Hello? No freaking way, man. It sounds like I'm being surrounded. I was just surrounded. There's a crack back there again.
As night settles around the campfire, the atmosphere changes. Footsteps and snapping branches begin echoing from multiple directions. The sounds don't approach in a straight line. They circle. Jared describes the feeling not of being watched by one presence, but of being surrounded, with movement occurring just beyond the firelight.
Holy smokes, man. Oh, I see eyes. There's eyes. Where'd they go? We got eye shine. Where'd those eyes go? I think they come up on camera for a second. Oh, wait. Oh, was that more back there? Oh, there's more eyes. Back in a different location. Different set of eyes. I've seen a bunch of eyes out there now. In different spots.
Scanning the tree line, the camera captures brief flashes of eye shine at different heights within the brush. They appear, vanish, then reappear elsewhere. Too controlled to feel random. The fire crackles. The woods stay silent.
Oh my goodness. I just seen a flashlight out in the woods. Somebody's down there with a flashlight right now. That had to be a flashlight. I don't know what else it could have been. Oh, that was my whistle. That was my whistle. That was my whistle. There's just some kind of crowd too or something out there. That was my whistle. No. I don't know what to do.
Jared can't sleep. The sounds outside are too chaotic, like a warning that he isn't alone out here. Then deep in the tree line, something cuts through the dark. The whistle he left outside the tent. It sounds like someone else has it now, testing it, slowly, on purpose. The cicadas surge louder as if the whole forest is pressing in with one message: stay quiet, and pretend you didn't hear a thing. On October 26, 2019, Kevin from the YouTube channel Homesteading Off the Grid leaves his cabin and walks into the forest behind his home. Known for documenting off-grid life and self-reliance, Kevin rarely seeks mystery. But after a year of leaving walnuts that keep disappearing, he decides to follow where they go, into a part of the woods that feels increasingly hostile.
Okay, so people are always making comments about these X structures they're seeing in the videos. I'm starting to see these things more frequently. There's one back here too. I'm gonna go beyond them because that's where my gut. I need to drink some water. I just got like a dizzy spell. I'm okay. It's been walking all morning. It's another X. Happened again. Guys, this is like a really weird feeling area right here. It's like bends and X's very heavily right here. There's another bent tree up there. We're taking the path less traveled. We are going right through these structures. Look at that. Oh, God, I've just got that dizzy spell again, just light though, just briefly.
As X-shaped tree structures appear more frequently, he suddenly becomes dizzy, twice. The sensation hits only near these markings, making the area feel less natural and more controlled, as if something unseen is influencing his body to slow him down.
Remember, full 360 security today. Okay guys, I've actually got the trail cam and the GoPro facing the 2 and the 4, and I'm looking at the 12. I've always given you guys the respect of getting my 6. I'm gonna let you do it again today.
To protect himself, Kevin mounts 2 cameras nearby. Moments later, while sitting only a few meters away, he realizes both cameras are gone.
Okay guys, things have officially gotten creepy. My cameras are gone, and I was right here. I had that aimed in the scene where I recorded myself tying up the trail cam to this tree, and there is no trail cam there now. And I was just sitting on that rock. How did my cameras, while I'm there, vanish? Okay guys, I went back and watched the segment I recorded earlier where I showed myself tying up the trail cam from this angle. This tree was in the scene and I went straight back to this tree. There is no trail cam on this tree. There's no trail cam on the ground.
No sound. No movement caught on tape. The disappearance feels deliberate. Less like theft, more like a warning delivered in silence.
I'm packing up and we're heading out. I'm not even gonna look for the GoPro. Creepiness continues. You see my flashlight? It's on. I didn't turn it on. When I opened my backpack, this flashlight was on. And this flashlight is a very special type of flashlight. To get this light to come on, you have to hold the button down and go through a series of other features it offers and then release the button when the light comes on. So, I don't know how. There's an interesting overhang. And I can hear that heavy equipment back there. What is this? Well, 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 look what we have here. There's my walnuts. There's deerly seashells. And here is one of my hatchets that I didn't even know was missing. That's my kid's Frisbee. Now, I'm sure that was in the yard. We try to pick up after ourselves, but my kid's always leaving balls and Frisbees and whatever we've been playing with out there. Oh, that was close. That was like right here.
Soon after, Kevin notices his flashlight has turned on inside his backpack by itself, suggesting something approached him unnoticed. Before leaving, he discovers a hidden pile of walnuts, tools, and personal items. His items, gathered together like a private cache. Almost immediately, a loud noise erupts nearby. Kevin runs. Some viewers believe the dizziness may be caused by infrasound, often reported in close Bigfoot encounters. Others see the missing cameras and gathered items as signs of territorial intelligence, an entity capable of warning without being seen. If the forest didn't want Kevin there, why show him everything, only to tell him to leave? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.